Hello, and welcome to WQLN PBS. I'm Miss Heather, and this is Twiggle. We're so happy to see you today. And actually, can he sit on your hand right there? I love that you're not scared. We have a little bee family that's visiting us today. And do you want to know what's crazy? Where are you going? This is a real bee's nest. Bees don't live in it anymore, but he's very curious and looking around. Isn't that amazing? This came out of a tree. I think it's beautiful. And this bee is very interested in it. I think it's pretty amazing, don't you? We are gonna have a science lesson today. Oh, well, hello, hello. Very nice bee. We are gonna have a science lesson today. We're gonna talk about different parts of an insect, what makes an insect. Insects are pretty cool, let me tell you, aren't they? Yes, and we're so glad that you came here to visit us today. I'm going to get everything ready, and we are going to learn a lot more about insects, aren't we? Yes, and how about you and Bumblebee? Maybe you guys could go play outside and look for more of his family, because I think they're out there. There's so many flowers out there, and they love flowers, okay? All right, I will be right back. Okay, guys, hi, I'm ready. Look at this. Look at that. That is a bumblebee, just like the hive we just looked at. That's a habitat. A habitat means a home. And the beehive that I had sitting here belongs to one of those. Isn't that amazing? So what we're gonna learn about today is, what is an insect? You're gonna learn a lot. Are you ready? Let's see. Now, to be an insect, you have to have 6 legs. If you don't have 6 legs, then you're not an insect. And there's some bugs that don't have 6 legs, so they're not an insect. So let's count this little guy right here. This is a beetle. And let's see if it has 6 legs. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is. This is an insect because it has 6 legs. Isn't that crazy? Now, an insect also has 3 body parts. Did you know that? They have a head right there. They have the middle part right here. It's called the thorax. It's a hard word, thorax. And this part down here at the bottom is called its abdomen. Crazy? So if they have 6 legs and they have 3 parts to the body, then it's a real insect. I'll bet you didn't know that. And if you did, you got a big brain too. Okay, now some insects have antennas. Like I have this little cicada right here. Do you see these right here? He has 6 legs, a head, a thorax, and an abdomen, but he has antennas. What do insects use their antennas for? Do you know what they use them for? This is pretty great. They use them to smell, to feel, and to listen. So they kind of use them like hands to feel around, a nose because they sniff with them, and they can listen like it's their ears. Isn't that crazy? Their antennas can do all those things. I think that's amazing. Now, is a spider an insect? Lots of our friends in my class thought that it was, but guess what? I'm gonna tell you something. They're not. Do you know why? They don't have 6 legs. Help me count how many legs is on this spider. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Insects have 6 legs, not 8. So guess what? A spider is not an insect. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. Now, if you can see, I've got a beautiful butterfly right here. He's absolutely beautiful. Okay? Come here, honey. Now, a butterfly is a caterpillar first, right? A caterpillar first, and then it goes into its cocoon, or chrysalis, and then it comes out and it's this beautiful butterfly. Now, when it's a butterfly, guess how many legs it has? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a butterfly is an insect. It has a head, a thorax, and an abdomen, and it has 6 legs. Now, how does a bug protect itself? If it starts to rain outside, or maybe a bird tries to grab it to eat it, because sometimes birds like to eat bugs. How does it protect itself? When you go on a bike ride, you wear a hat to protect your head, right? And if it's raining outside, you might want to put on a raincoat and some rain boots so that you don't get your body and your clothes all wet and your feet wet. Well, bugs can't wear a bike helmet or a raincoat or rain boots, right? Because they're bugs. So guess what is so incredible? Bugs, most of them, not all of them, but most of them have something called an exoskeleton. Do you know what that means? An exoskeleton is a hard shell that is on top of their thorax and abdomen. So if it starts to rain, they don't get wet. They protect their body. So this is kind of like a raincoat to keep their bodies dry. Isn't that amazing? And it's a hard, crunchy shell. So if a bird comes by and goes, ooh, that looks like a tasty meal, and they go to grab it, they're probably not gonna be able to grab it as easily because they have an exoskeleton, and that means that it's hard and crunchy, and it's helping to protect their bodies. It's pretty crazy. And the word is called exoskeleton. It's a pretty grown-up word. It's a great word. That is what they use to protect their bodies. Another cool thing about a bumblebee is they don't have a mouth like you and I do. They have something so cool, and it's kind of like a straw in their mouth that's there all the time. And the straw is called a proboscis. It's that thing right there sticking out. And they can suck, just like you do when we drink from a straw. They can go up to a flower, put their proboscis in the flower, and suck the nectar and the water out of the flower. Isn't that incredible? So they are born with a proboscis, or like a straw in their mouth so they can eat. You know what though? Not all insects have proboscis. They don't have the straw. So this praying mantis right here, which is super cool, he doesn't have a proboscis, but he has hands, or it's kind of like hands, legs, his feet he uses as hands. And he can grab his food and he opens up his mouth just like we do, and he can take a bite with his mandibles. Another grown-up word. He can just take a bite like you and I do. He picks it up with his hands and takes a bite. He does not have a proboscis. He has a mandible. He has a large mouth that he can take a bite. Crazy, isn't it? There's a lot of cool stuff about insects. Now, where do insects live? We saw the beehive that I brought, right? That is a home for bees. So let's look at some habitats. Remember, a habitat is a home that insects live in. Okay, so let's see about some insects here. So we know that the bees live together in a colony with their family in a beehive, which is really pretty awesome. They built it themselves. And these are ladybugs. Look at them all. It's a whole ladybug family. And ladybugs love to live in trees. That's their favorite. Sometimes, you know what? Ladybugs can come in my house. I find them in my house sometimes. And I'll scoop them up and take them back outside. But they love the trees the most. That's their favorite. So their habitat, where they live, is they love the trees the most. And we have ladybugs right around where we all live. Now remember, we talked about a spider is not an insect, but I think it's important to know that when you see a spider web, that is the spider's habitat. That's his home. And they made it themselves. So that is something important to know, that spiders habitat is a web that they made themselves. I think that's amazing. There's ants. Ants are an insect. They have 6 legs. They have a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. And they have tunnels under the ground that they live with their families with. Sometimes we see a little ant hill, maybe in your yard or on the playground, and there's a little hole in it that the ants crawl in. Well, look what it looks like under the ground. Isn't that amazing? So they build tunnels and their habitat is under the ground. I love that. Beetles. We have these beetles where we all live here in Pennsylvania, and they like to live in trees and they like to eat the leaves on the trees. So sometimes we have to be careful of insects, that they don't hurt our trees and they don't hurt our flowers and they don't hurt our gardens. So sometimes we have to move them to a different place so that they're not hurting our stuff. But beetles love leaves. Isn't that crazy? Did you know there are over 10 million different kinds of insects in the world? That is so many insects that it would fill up my whole classroom. I would still need more room for them. That's how many there are. That's amazing. Insects are so important to our planet. They help to eat the dead plants and keep our planet clean. And everyone knows that bees go around and they pollinate and they get the pollen from the flowers and they make honey. They're so important. We need bees. We need bees. And they are also food. Birds love to eat insects. Fish love to eat them. Bats and all kinds of animals eat insects. So insects are very important to our planet. There's something pretty amazing that's going to happen. And I think it's really important that you know because it hasn't happened for 17 years. In about, maybe when you watch this on TV, there is something special called a brood-X cicada. It kind of looks like this. And the crazy thing is it's coming out of the ground after 17 years of living in the ground. And they're coming to Pennsylvania. They do not hurt you, but they're noisy. They're very, very loud. And you'll hear them outside making a lot of noise. And did you know that they say that they are sometimes as loud as a small airplane? And there'll be millions of them that come out from under the ground, and the mommies will go up into the trees and lay 400 to 600 eggs, babies. And then the babies will hatch and they will go back down into the ground for 17 more years. 17 years they live under the ground and then come out. Kind of like they have a party after 17 years and they come out. This is something special that's going to be happening in Pennsylvania very soon in the month of May. And they will last until June. So I hope you all have a chance to see a cool broad-X cicada. That is something super duper special. So we saw some beautiful insects today, dragonflies, our insects, grasshoppers and ladybugs and butterflies and ants and bees. Insects are pretty amazing, and there are so many of them, and there's so much to learn about insects that I hope that you have a chance to learn about them too. I am going to go get our art project ready. We're going to make a ladybug today, and we are going to make an exoskeleton. I wonder how we're going to do that. I'm going to go get the stuff ready, and I'll show you. I'll be right back. Remember, if you need to look back and see the things that you need to make this art project, you can look on WQLN PBS Learning at Home, and it will show you all the things that you need. But remember, when you're an artist, if you don't have this stuff, you can use something else. It doesn't matter. When you're an artist, there's no right or wrong way to do it. So let me show you what we're going to use. I have red paint and black paint. That's going to be for our ladybug. I have tape. I have some scissors. I have a black marker, and I have a white marker. If you don't have a white marker, you can use chalk or a pencil or a white crayon. I have a clothespin with a cotton ball in it. I'll show you what we're going to do with that. I have a pipe cleaner. I have a small paper plate. I have googly eyes. Remember, if you don't have googly eyes, you can draw them on yourself. I'm going to put my paint in here. And I made a stencil. We're going to pretend like this is the head, the thorax, and the abdomen of the ladybug. If you don't make a stencil, that's okay. You can draw it yourself. It's up to you. And I have a black piece of paper. So let me show you what we're going to do, okay? I'm going to take my white marker and I'm going to trace, I'm doing this so you guys can see it. I'm going to trace my insect body, my ladybug's body, the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, okay? I'll show you. There it is. And then I'm going to cut it out. I'll show you. Now remember, if you can't do the cutting, that's okay. You can ask a grown-up. But you know what? If it doesn't come out perfectly when you're cutting it, it's okay. Because you know what? You're an artist and you can do it however you want. And it's great fine motor exercise. Cutting is the greatest thing to do to strengthen your hands for little young writers. Okay, so this is what we've got. Doesn't really look much like a ladybug yet, does it? No, it doesn't. So watch what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put a little bit of red paint in my red bowl and a little bit of black paint in my black bowl, okay? And I am going to brush on, I'm using this as a paintbrush. Isn't that cool? See, you don't have to have all the stuff, do you? You can use whatever you want. And this is what's going to work today. I like to show you different ways of painting. You don't always have to have paintbrushes. Sometimes not everybody has a paintbrush. But if you have a cotton ball, you can paint your paper plate red, like a ladybug. I'm making a mess here too, okay? So here we go. We have a red paper plate. I'm going to turn my cotton ball over. And it's clean, then I only have to use one. What is on a ladybug? It's red with what color dots? Black. So I'm gonna dip it in the black and I'm gonna put some dots, some spots, okay? So here it is. Now I'm gonna pretend like this is my exoskeleton. Remember, an exoskeleton is something that is on the insect that protects its body. So watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut this in half. You can wait till it's dry, but I want you guys to have a chance to see it, okay? So I cut it in half. See it? But watch this. I'm gonna take back his body, okay? But first, I'm gonna give his head 2 eyes. I'm putting googly eyes on. If you don't have googly eyes, you can draw them on yourself, okay? So I'm gonna put googly eyes on, and I'm gonna take my white marker and give him a smile. I'll show you. See him? And I'm gonna take my pipe cleaner and put it in half to make antennas. Remember, the antennas are what they use to smell, feel, and listen. And I'm gonna take a piece of tape and I'm gonna tape his antennas on the back of his head so it looks like this. I think I'm even gonna curl them because sometimes the antennas curl. Now this is gonna be the exoskeleton, okay? This isn't dry yet. You might wanna let yours dry, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna take one piece of tape, and the exoskeleton on a ladybug is their wings. Their wings are kind of hard and crunchy like an exoskeleton, but when they fly, their wings go up, right? So let me show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put one wing over here, because remember I cut this in half, so I have two wings. These are gonna be the wings. And I'm gonna put the other one on this side so it looks like it's flying. And guess what I just made? I'm gonna give it one more piece of tape. If it's dry, this would work, but this is still a little bit wet, so. Are you ready? I made a ladybug. Isn't it so cute? And this paper plate that we painted red and black is the exoskeleton that a ladybug has that protects its body. Isn't it great? I hope you have a chance to make it. I think it's super cute. I'm going to go get my book. I got a great book for us today. It's about a very clumsy beetle. Clumsy means that he doesn't do things very well without falling down or dropping things, or you'll see. I'm gonna clean up my mess here, and I'm gonna get ready for our awesome book. I'll be right back. Hi guys, I'm back, and I've got a great story for you. It's by Eric Carle, and it's called The Very Clumsy Click Beetle. Isn't that fun? Look at how cool. He's got 6 legs, and a head, and a thorax, and an abdomen, and everything we talked about today. Isn't it great? Eric Carle is the author, and Eric Carle is the illustrator. So he wrote the story and drew the pictures. Are you ready? The Very Clumsy Click Beetle. One fine morning, a young click beetle decided to go for a walk. At noon, it climbed up and down a flower. There he is. He went up the flower and down the flower. In the afternoon, it rummaged through a pile of pebbles. That means that it looked through. It was looking through all the pile of pebbles, and pebbles are like rocks. In the evening, it crawled among the tall blades of grass. He's having an adventure, isn't he? Crawled up and down the flower, rummaged through the pebbles, and crawled among the tall grass. And when it turned night, the young click beetle crept up a tree. And remember, because that's a habitat where a lot of bugs live, is in a tree. And after a while, it got tired, and it fell to the ground, and it landed on its back. The young click beetle tried very hard to turn over its feet, but it couldn't. Help! It cried. Look at him. He fell out of the tree. He's saying, help me. All along, a wise old click beetle had been watching the young click beetle. Tomorrow morning, he said, I will teach you how to click and flip through the air and land on your feet. In the meantime, you may as well go to sleep. Good night. And it left the click beetle there to sleep because it doesn't know how to turn over. The next morning, the wise old click beetle said, look at me. This is how it's done. First, it turned onto its back, and then with a loud click, because they make a clicking sound, it makes like a click, 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 click sound. Look what happened. It flipped through the air and landed on his feet. Now you try it, said the wise old beetle. So he's teaching him how to do it. That's so nice of him. Thank you, that looks easy, replied the young click beetle. Just then, an earthworm stuck his head up out of the ground. Look at me, said the young click beetle, and with a loud click, think he can do it? Let's see. It flipped through the air, but it landed on its back. How very clumsy of me, said the young click beetle. Just then, a turtle ambled by. Better luck next time, said the turtle. Keep on trying. Look at me, said the young click beetle. And with a loud click, You think he's gonna land on his feet this time? Let's see if he does it. I'm glad he keeps trying. It flipped through the air, but it landed on its back. Oh, how very clumsy of me, said the click beetle. Just then, a snail slithered by. Don't worry, said the snail. You'll get there. Look at me. Look at me, said the young click beetle. And with a loud click, he's trying again. He is trying again. He is not giving up. I'm so proud of him. It flipped through the air, but it landed on its back again. How very clumsy of me, said the young click beetle. Just then, a mouse scurried by. You need a little more practice, said the mouse. Look at me, said the young click beetle. And with a loud click, think he's gonna do it this time? You think he's gonna land on his feet? Let's see. It flipped through the air, but it landed on its back again. Just then, what was this? The young click beetle had never seen anything so big. It could not move. It was scared. Look at, what is that? That's not a bug. What is that? That's a person. That's their feet. He's never seen a person before. He's scared. Quick, click, and flip, cried the wise old click beetle who was watching. Look at, a little boy is bending down to check on that click beetle. And the old wise click beetle said, hurry up, do it. Think you can do it? The young click beetle clicked and flipped through the air. But this time it did 3 graceful somersaults. Look at him. He's doing 3 somersaults. Is he gonna land on his feet? I hope so, let's see. And it landed on his feet. He did it, he finally did it. Look at you, shouted the wise old click beetle. You have done it. I'm so glad he didn't give up. He did it, he really did it. The end. He did it. I'm so glad he did not give up. Because if he would have given up, he wouldn't have done it. And I think that little boy was gonna help him, but guess what? The young clumsy click beetle flipped over, did 3 somersaults, and landed on his feet. Isn't that a great story? Twiggle, what you up to? What you doing today? Who? Cicada. Yes, the cicada is going to be, all of his family is going to be coming out of the ground in a few days, and they have not been around for 17 years. Isn't that amazing? I know. It is. It's so cool. So hopefully we'll all have a chance to see them or hear them because they're loud. Did you know that? They are. Thank you. They are so loud. So have you been playing with all the bugs today? Insects are so amazing, aren't they? I'm going to put the click beetle down here. And I love that we got this cool beehive too. Isn't it beautiful? It is. I had so much fun with you guys today. We did a great science lesson and learned so much about insects having 6 legs and 3 parts to their body, the head, the thorax, and the abdomen, right? Spiders are not insects. No, they have 8 legs, so they're not an insect. You have something on your face. I'm getting that off for you. And we read a great story about a click beetle, and we made an exoskeleton insect. We made a ladybug, and his shell is his exoskeleton, his wings. Isn't that cool? It turned out so good. I hope you have a chance to make it too. I had so much fun with you guys today, and I hope you felt a little bit like our school family. I love when you come to school with us. We have so much fun, don't we? We do. I hope you guys keep reading, and I hope you keep learning. And you know what? I keep hoping that you will watch us on WQLN PBS, where learning comes to life. Until next time, have a great week and go out and see if you can find some cool insects too. They're pretty amazing.